Just seeing them grow from the start, confidence growing and their techniques improving, we'd never ever take them somewhere else because he is just perfect.
I have 2 girls at AFAC, and we've been coming since it started at the beginning of 2019. They feel safe, and I think they feel encouraged as well.
I like my teachers, and they always encourage me when I need encouraging, and they make it really fun for me and the rest of my class. I feel very proud and happy and excited to meet my new teacher.
Noah finds motor planning and things like that difficult. You know, he tends to get that same teacher, so they definitely know what works for Noah, what to kind of keep going with, how we can kind of achieve the next thing. So it's really quite consistent and valuable.
It's really good, nice quality time spent with the grandies, and it's a great centre for families as well. She may have got a lot older, but never miss out on the green jelly after the swimming lesson, so that's always a given.
I wouldn't be driving 25 minutes past 2 swim schools to come if I didn't enjoy it.
The kids just enjoy it too much here and love all the teachers, so why move them somewhere else?
Would you all be upstanding for Her Worship, Mayor Ruth Butterfield?
Right, good evening everybody. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we meet upon the lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. I'll declare the meeting open at 2 minutes past 7 and acknowledge that we do have an apology from Councillor Willinga, and I believe that Councillor Silva is running a little late. So we will move on. We have got nothing on advice of response to previous public questions taken on notice. We've got public question time. Has anyone from the public got any questions for tonight? Thank you. Veronica, if you'd like to step up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Veronica and I'm from Rolly Stone, and I'm here as a part of the CWA group tonight. So I'll keep my question as brief as I can. This is more for the councillors that weren't at the Technical Services Committee meeting last week. So are councillors aware of the item in that minutes for talking to the proposed Anzac Memorial to be relocated within the Churchman's Brook Community Centre? And the references therein, and I'll refer to them just briefly, but I do believe they're very important. One is the impact on the objectives of the Strategic Community Plan 2020 to 2030. The items considered were to foster and strengthen community spirit, to improve community well-being. The other component was whether they researched whether there were any legal implications for this to go ahead, and the general assessment of under the Local Government Act did not reveal any restrictions in that area.
I'm sorry, I'll have to ask what your question is.
Well, my question is, are councillors aware of these valued components? I'm sorry, I did say at the beginning.
Thank you. Well, we'll stop it there, and I'll answer on behalf of the councillors that they've got the agenda and they've had it for some time. So thank you. If there's, have you got a part 2, part 3?
Because they all fall under the same.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Do we have any further questions from members of the public? If not, I will close public question time, and I understand that we do have a deputation tonight. Sorry, so who was doing the deputation?
Me.
Just you, Penny?
Yes.
Thank you very much. From the CWA.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Penny Stapleton, the President of the Bedfordale CWA. We wanted to take the opportunity this evening to present to Council some more information following a few queries raised in the Technical Services meeting of Wednesday the 1st of October. I wanted to present these comments in point form for clarity and ease of future reference. Point 1, location of the memorial. The location of the memorial for each of the 2024 and 2025 Anzac Day events has been position 1, which you'll see on your map. This position has been determined to be the best location to allow access to all and best aspect for viewing of the ceremony. Position 1 allows us to cordon off the area parallel to the playground space for entry of the catafalque party. It also means that the audio-visual setup can be tucked between the playground and the memorial. We agree that moving the memorial back slightly to position 4, shown on the plan, would still allow for the smooth running of the event while respecting those concerns others have voiced about the impact on the potential users of the oval at position 1. Position 4 would maintain the good sightlines for the general public and maintain the backdrop to the city skyline, which proved so impactful. Point 2, height of memorial. The finished height of the memorial of between 1.5 and 1.7 metres seems reasonable, achievable, and in keeping with this being a local memorial. Point 3, plaques. Questions were raised at the October meeting regarding protocol for plaques on the memorial. Since that time, I have sought feedback from both the State RSL and the Armidale sub-branch of the RSL. Both the COO of the State RSL and the Armidale sub-branch have responded saying they have no issue with the plaques as is. This information has been forwarded to the city officers for their information and records. This is a small, respectful local memorial that will sit well in the natural environment. We have no plans to add further plaques to the memorial. In conclusion, I would like to say that we have received a lot of community support and positive feedback for the running of the Anzac Day dawn service over the last 2 years. It has demonstrated to us that such an event is wanted and that such a memorial is welcomed as part of that. The Anzac Day event only acts to strengthen our community and foster better communication and understanding between all ages. We look forward to having the permanent memorial in place for the running of the 2026 event. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Penny, I'm just going to ask the CEO a question. And just checking there that councillors are able to ask questions of the Penny, Mrs. Stapleton. If you have any queries, feel free to ask, because that's the idea behind a deputation, is to allow some conversation between the councillors and the deputiser. So I do have a question for you, Penny. Is it your intention, I know that the original application and thought behind this was that you would be wanting a flag pole as well. It's my understanding that now you have, the group has, as CWA, have withdrawn that part
correct.
of the application.
Yes.
But my understanding is that a flag and a pole on the day is intrinsic to the whole ceremony. So how are you going to get around that flagpole issue?
As we've run the event previously, we've brought in a removable flagpole, which is positioned and then taken out at the end of the ceremony. So it is a temporary installation. It is seated and based on its own base, so it doesn't impact on the ground. That would be the intention going forward.
And so what would be the difference if I drew a parallel between the memorial being something that was brought in and temporary and then removed, but now will become permanent? Do you envisage that the group would find it difficult or not palatable in future to keep putting up a flagpole and then taking it away again?
The group is all volunteers, so we volunteer our time. The actual installation of the memorial on previous years and the flagpole has taken up to 2 to 3 days prior. The impact of having the memorial in a permanent fixture, low-key as we ask, is that those volunteers will then be more aligned time-wise to focus on other aspects of presenting the memorial and the event to the public. We also, as you know, have been offered by community members permanent stonework that is given in kind for this project, and so respecting that, we decided that it probably would be best to have it in a permanent structure.
Right, so with respect to the flagpole?
The flagpole, as I said, would be a removable structure and just brought in on the day of the event and removed at the end of that event.
Right. So there's no intention, just putting it on the record there, there's no intention to have the flagpole applied for in future?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Thank you. And has anybody else got any questions? I know I'm being hogging the floor. No. Just one question then about, I did receive some information from Councillor Stoneham today regarding what was on the front of the memorial was to remain, but then there was a plaque on the back which has been removed apparently and will not be put back on there? Or?
We're in discussions to have it removed. That is not a permanent fixture.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry, okay. Yep, question, Councillor Keogh.
Sorry, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, two questions. When were the letters sent to the Armidale RSL sub-branch and the state branch of the RSL, and when were they then received by the city, out of interest?
The technical services meeting was on the 1st of October. I sent an email to the COO of the state RSL a couple of days after that. I can't remember exactly. I think it was the 3rd of October. And the response was received on about the 6th and then forwarded to the city officers after that. The second response from the Armidale sub-branch was on about the 9th, and the response from them was received the next day. So everything, including the Armidale sub-branch response, has been sent to city officers. Yep.
So I'm just trying to, I haven't seen the letter or the email that you sent to the RSL.
Yes.
So with regard to signage on there, or the plaques and whatnot, did that include the plaque on the back that was temporary?
Yes, both.
And they were happy to have that on there?
They did not see any issue with either the front or the rear of the memorial. They got clear pictures of both. Yeah, they had no issue with that.
And but I do understand that councillors haven't seen that image, or it's not in the report or anything. So, okay. Are there any other questions? Anybody? Councillor Keogh? Yep.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, just another question as well. Earlier you mentioned that you had no plans to put on further signage or names on the memorial. So just, I guess, want to clarify, one, if that was my correct thinking, and that's what you said, that there was no intention to put on any other signs on the memorial. And number two, if there was an intention that somehow changed, is it envisaged that that decision would be made by council or by the CWA itself?
It'd definitely be a council issue. It's not for us to decide that, because this falls under the council's purview after it's handed over to the council. So it's not us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. If there's nothing else, there you go. Thank you. Right, deputation over. Applications for leave of absence. I don't believe we've got any, and none from the floor right now. Petitions. Do we have any petitions for presentation tonight, councillors? If not, we'll move on to confirmation of minutes. Could I ask that someone confirm that the record attached to this meeting represents a true and correct record? Councillor Sargison, are you moving? Thank you very much. Is there anyone opposed? If no one's opposed, thank you, that's carried. Announcements by the person presiding without discussion. Wow, very exciting weekend. So, councillors, you do have on your table just a list of things, but I might concentrate on the very exciting weekend that we had. And it was exciting in a couple of ways, that the Armidale train line reopened and the line to Byford. So we've been waiting for that for over 18 months now. The project dragged out a little bit, but I think our community is ever so grateful that it is now open and we're able to have our people go back and forth to work in a very quick, speedy time frame. It was very popular on the weekend to have the stations open, and for anyone that's been down there to the new Armidale station, it is enormous, like something out of ancient Egypt. Very, very well received by the public. There was the artworks are stunning, and the building itself is a tremendous, an asset for Armidale. But the line itself was the icing on the cake. The better than the icing on the cake was the announcement by the Minister that we receive. So it's the Honourable Catherine King made the announcement at the opening of the Armidale train station that we would receive, the city would receive $5 million from the UWP fund that we had applied to for, and that will make up the completion of the amount of money that we needed to complete the works down at the train station. So our Central Park project, that's the working title, so it won't be called Central Park as such, but 2 areas, if you've been down there, are bollarded off. No, they're boarded off. They're boarded off, so you can't see in there. And they will become some very interesting, exciting play elements for all ages. So one side will be for very young people, and the other side will be for older people and teenagers type people, so more active. And we're planning on putting in water play as well. So it's all very exciting. And to get that $5 million contribution from the federal government meant that the project could go ahead in its entirety instead of being a piecemeal sort of, scrimp together what we could save and provide ourselves. So I think on behalf of the councillors, I'd like to, thank the federal government, the state government, and our community for the funding that we've got and the forbearance of our community in waiting for this project to be finished. It's not quite done yet. We will now embark on letting tenders for the park work, and we look forward to having that completed probably within 12 to 18 months. So that time frame again. So a little bit more patience is necessary for the play elements, but it will be well worth the wait. So those are my announcements. So we'll move in now to questions by members, of which due notice has been given without discussion, and there isn't any. So we'll go now to the reports. First of all, we've got the Community Services report for the meeting held on the 30th of September. Is the Chair prepared to move those minutes?
Yes, could I please confirm the minutes of the Community Services meeting held on the 30th of September, subject to any corrections, which I have none.
Thank you. Chair has moved receipt of those minutes. Is there anyone opposed? If no one's opposed, thank you, that's carried. First item on this report is 1.1, Annual Progress Report for, of suburban level social priorities, with the recommendation coming on page 11. Page 12, 2.1, Conference Attendance, 2025 Parks and Leisure Conference, with the recommendation on page 14. Brings us to the end of the very short agenda. Chair, are you prepared to move those 2 items?
So moved, Mayor.
Thank you. The Chair has moved. Is there anyone opposed? If no one's opposed, thank you. That's carried. Now we move on to the minutes of the Technical Services Committee meeting held on the 1st of October. Chair, are you prepared to move receipt of those minutes?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd happy to move the receipt of the Technical Services Committee minutes held on the 1st of October with the removal of the map that was added in the sentence that went with it. Okay. And if there's any other corrections, which I don't have any besides that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Busby.
Oh, sorry, and that was item 2.1 where that map was added. Sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Busby. That takes us through then to page 20, 2.1, Proposed Design and Location for the Churchman Brook Anzac Memorial. And the recommendation comes on page 24. Councillor Stoneham.
I would like to move an alternate recommendation, if I may. bring it up on the screen, that Council approve the proposed memorial design and location within the Churchman Brook Community Centre Park and progress the installation of the memorial based on the design shown in attachment 1. This is from the minutes and the agenda of the Technical Services meeting. Churchman Brook Memorial, a location between the two trees to the west of position 1 with the following conditions. 1, that the height of the monument to be within 1.5 to 1.7 metres, and 2, that no addition of plaques to the memorial be made without prior council approval.
Thank you, Councillor Stoneham. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Silva. Do we have anyone opposed? Thank you, Councillor Busby. Councillor Silva, would you like to... Councillor Stoneham, you need to speak first, actually. You haven't said anything.
Thank you very much, councillors. The recommendation I'm putting forward this evening that Council progress this particular item is that it has been hanging around a little while. We have heard from Penny Stapleton this evening about the positioning of the monument. If it's number 1, position 1, and moving it slightly to the west so it doesn't impede any children's play or other people's use of the oval, but it also is the best position for the smooth running of the CWA Bedford-Dales Anzac Dawn service. Progressing this installation, as Mrs Hanson pointed out, aligns directly with our strategic community plan and indeed the recommendation that we have just endorsed from the community services minutes about our community goals. As far as the Bedford-Dales CWA goes, I just want to iterate that they are at the heart of this proposal. They are a community group whose extensive record of community service is exemplary. Okay, they have been central to countless local initiatives. They support families, coordinate events, hold a perfect Anzac Day Dawn service that unites their community. Over 600 people at the first one. And this project exemplifies what we strive for as a council, in the community, for the community, with the community. Okay. October, by the way, is the CWA Bedford-Dales birthday, I believe. So wouldn't it be lovely and a fitting response to actually progress this item for them on their birthday? When it comes to the plaques, a key condition of this recommendation is that no additional plaques will be placed on the memorial unless there is prior council approval. The last thing we want to do is make it look like a patchwork quilt, okay? And by keeping the memorial uncluttered, we preserve a space that is timeless and inclusive and one that speaks equally to past, present and future generations. The design and scale, the proposed height of between 1.5 and 1.7 is hardly onerous. I'm 1.6. I don't think I dominate the room, although I might be right now. It will complement, not command its surroundings, while providing space for ceremony, wreath laying and reflection, and specifying a specific height, I think, will be a technical nightmare because, to all intents and purposes, we're digging a hole to put this monument in, and if we don't get it right on, then we pull it up, digging it. I don't think that's feasible. I had something else to say, but I'm just... So timing and practical considerations. There are only 2 technical service committee meetings between now and the end of the year, and then we close on December the 16th and reopen in February. If we wait until February to progress this at the earliest, with Anzac Day on April the 25th and Easter in between, it could be that we don't get it done in time for our next Anzac Day service. Okay. I just want to say one other thing. The intent of this memorial is to remember the fallen who have died protecting our freedoms. But it's also an opportunity to honour those service personnel who still serve us today. They sacrifice sometimes their physical, emotional and psychological health to preserve our freedoms, and they deserve to be recognised. And I believe this small memorial that the CWA is asking for fulfils that, and I personally am proud to support it, and I humbly ask my fellow councillors to support it also. Thank you.
Councillor Silva.
I do think Councillor Stoneham has well covered every point that I agree with, but I just wanted to quickly say that I appreciate the initiative that the CWA has taken to install and procure and install this memorial, and I believe it's always important for our community, and I will always I'm always happy to support a positive project like this.
Sorry, Councillor Silva. I was distracted there. Thank you very much. Councillor Busby, would you like to speak?
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. I think it's important, just after some of the comments that have been made, is that this City of Armidale, this council has supported the CWA regularly and supported all the community stuff that they do, and that's important that we say that. And it's also important to say that we have supported this what's happening here 100% as well. And the reason we're actually discussing this today is because council have already said we think it's a good thing and we think it should happen, and we're all 100% support it. That's how we got to the report to actually take it to the further thing. So it's important that that's acknowledged that we do support it. I am curious tonight at why the urgency. I'm not sure why we are concerned about the urgency. The ED, our Executive Director, did say that he would be able to get a report to us within an acceptable time, and that did see no problem in his eyes that this wouldn't be done well and truly before the service next year. Yeah, and I'm happy that that was given. The reason we didn't decline, it's horrible words that declined the proposed design. It's not really the right words what we were saying. What we were saying is that we had questions that are unanswered, and as of this meeting tonight, we still haven't had them answered. Penny has shared that letters were sent to the RSL and responses were given, but this council hasn't seen them. Our legal team haven't seen them, and so as a council, it's really difficult to vote for something and sign off for something when we've not had that official confirmation from our own officers. So the only reason I'm not debating the height on this, the positioning on this, not even debating that tonight, but I do believe the motion we put on Tech Services Committee was just to put it back, get that report, get all of that information, get it signed off, bring it back, and then this council, I'm sure, will sign off on it, and half of us may even turn up next year at the Anzac Day service. But we do support it 100%. That's really important, but I also believe it's important that we do it the right way, and we tick all the boxes and we get it right so it doesn't come back on us or the CWA, and that's why I'm supporting the motion that we did from the Tech Services Committee. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Busby. Could I ask if anyone is in support of the motion to speak for the motion?
Sorry, Mayor, am I able to ask a question at this point?
Yep.
I just wanted to find out if the Executive Director or if any of the City staff received the RSL responses, because Penny did say she had forwarded them on, so I just wanted to make sure that we had received
them. Through you, Chair, they were received this afternoon by City officers and received by myself at about 6:15 this evening, so they have been received.
And just to confirm, they were...
thank you, Councillor.
Penny was correct?
Councillor, could you resume your seat, please?
Wow.
Yeah.
Chair, I have a question. Okay.
So I'm just going to allow the CEO to answer the question that Councillor Silva has put.
Through the Chair, my understanding is that both the Armidale RSL sub-branch and RSL WA have both expressed that they have no objection to the memorial as per the photographs provided.
Councillor Peter, do you have a question? Chair, CEO, can I ask then, did we see the correspondence with both photos of the back and the front?
Through you, Chair, I don't have the photographs on the email chain that I have received.
Right, okay, thank you.
To the Chair, I have a question. The current motion on the table, is that proposing the memorial to position number 1 to 4? Is it now the current motion? Is it a...
Sorry, I'm just trying to determine what your question is.
Yeah, the current motion in the table, is that we are proposing now to the position number 4?
If you read the, have you got your screen?
It's not very clear.
It's not very clear, okay.
Yes, through the Chair, Councillor Joy, in the minutes, the description provided in this alternate recommendation would be in the same location as position 4. However, Councillor Busby agreed for receipt of the minutes with the removal of that diagram. So for the purposes of anybody reading into the future, that description there now would stand with or without the picture in the minutes. So yes, it would be in the same position as position 4.
So where are we up to? Anyone to speak for the motion? Anyone to speak against the motion?
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I have a few reservations as mentioned. So there seems to be some uncertainty around what is the contents of the letters. I would definitely like to know what actually was corresponded between these two parties. And we just don't know what those images were, and obviously we can't make a decision as council, I don't think, without knowing what that correspondence was. I agree with Councillor Busby's sentiments that it is, of course, a really important decision before us tonight. We don't want to rush it, and I don't think it appears that we need to rush it either. I'm worried about the position still as to what would be as decided as being number 4. As stipulated with the current proposal. And I also am not a fan of politicising the CWA or Anzac Memorials places. I don't want to conflate this item to be a personal vote or be perceived to be a vote on the approval of the CWA or Anzac Day memorials or anything like that. We of course value and appreciate the work that these community groups do, and I think that's indicative by us wanting to take the time to make sure we get this right by, as the original motion was being, to seek options and amendments to the final design and location to give this, the due diligence and thought in making that choice. So that's why I'm opposed to the current proposal before us. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Keogh. Is there anyone to speak for the motion? I might just make a couple of comments then and say that I'm probably in favour of the motion that the committee made, because I don't believe that there's been certain aspects of the recommendation, so with the recommendation on the way that it is now from Councillor Stoneham, it's mostly okay. I would, if it fails, I would be flagging that we'd go back to the officer's or the committee's recommendation, I should say, because I think we need to work on the wording of that point 2, the no additional plaques to the memorial to be made without prior council approval. However, the material on the plaque at the moment is, councillors haven't even seen it. We've seen one side but not the other. So I don't know how we would be making a decision without even seeing all of the plaques that are on it at the moment. So we need to probably change that so that it goes back to part of the recommendation that I made on the night of the committee meeting, which said that the approval of plaques to be subject to the City of Armidale. So that takes it back into the hands and the power of the City and Council. Height, whatever. I do have concerns, and I think that we should be mindful of getting the right position for this memorial so that in future a flagpole can be erected, because I believe that it's an intrinsic part of a memorial, an Anzac Day service. So if the current proposal for the positioning is not commensurate with putting a flagpole there, then I don't know that that's the right place to have it. I'm also concerned about there not being easy access for people with disabilities. And I know that's been discounted at committee by people saying, well, the grass is fairly smooth. But I think it is important when we put up memorials that are for everyone to enjoy, or to pay their respects, that there does need to be some paving. And if the position in this recommendation is not convenient or appropriate to put a path to easily, then I don't think that decision should be made now. I think that we need to talk about some of these extra issues. So, and we need to come to an agreement that if the positioning is in the right place, then potentially we look at a budget for putting a flagpole, and we do look at putting a path to it, and it might be a bitumen path such as the ones that are already there. It's already come to our attention that the stairs down from the community building itself are not suitable for being used in the dark. So there's some liability issues there that I am concerned about, which we don't have answers to. So I'd be hoping that the council goes back to the original decision made at committee so that we can have some answers and potentially get a much better outcome for the CWA and the running of this event. And I think that Councillor Stoneham's emotion is probably reflects a lot of our community's emotion with regards to Anzac Day ceremonies, and I commend the CWA for trying to get a memorial and actually producing a wonderful event for the community to attend. Our role is to look at the situation in the park and to determine whether that is the right place and that we've got the right infrastructure around it so that it can continue to be a welcoming event, and that we don't have volunteers lugging flagpoles for eternity. So to not consider that that eventually a flagpole is going to be needed there, I think is short-sighted, and we should definitely consider it, even though the group are willing, to their credit, to put a temporary flagpole up. But I think we need to consider the very real necessity to have a flagpole there and then decide about where that goes. So with that, I will hand back to Councillor Stoneham to wrap up.
Thank you all. I think I've made my points fairly clearly. There is no rush for this decision. This request has been in the pipeworks now for well over a year. So I don't think we're actually rushing a decision, but we currently have councillors present who have been involved in this process in the past year. And I'm sorry, I resent the inference that anybody in this room would be voting for political gain with an election coming up, and I think that statement should be retracted. But that is up to Deputy Mayor Keogh to choose to do. When we look at the outline of the park, the easiest access to the memorial would be alongside the playground, which is where the Cataflat party comes on the day to walk down and surround the memorial. It's young cadets from the Coast Guard, I believe, who come down and do it. It's wonderful that they're there. The CWA do absolutely everything to make sure that this event is run impeccably. They have traffic management, they have ambulances, they have complied with every request so far that we have made to make this event happen and to make the memorial put in place. They're not bothered, I think, and I could be incorrect, but I'm sure Penny can nod, about the flagpole, because they use their flagpole at other events around the place, whether it be the Kelmscott Show or the Royal Show. So they are more than used to lugging a flagpole around to support any events that they attend. I believe, given that we have a council present at the moment that has been with this from the beginning, rather than debate this again, hopefully before the end of the year, maybe not, with potentially 6 new councillors, or hopefully that is not the case. I think we all have enough information to make a decision now. I hope that we will, and that's really all I've got to say on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Stoneham. Thank you, everybody. We'll put that to the vote then. We have Councillor Stoneham's recommendation on our screen, and I'll ask all those in favour. And all those opposed? And the motion is lost. Oh, sorry, is carried. Sorry, is carried. I didn't count. Thank you, everybody, for your debate. And so we have a recommendation on the screen there that will go into our minutes. Thank you very much, everybody. Page 25, 1.1, RSL delivery access, proposed loading zone on Commerce Avenue.
Excuse me, Mayor, I need to make a declaration here.
Yes, certainly.
Thank you. I am registered as a service member with the RSL Armidale. With regard to item 1.1, the matter under discussion, I disclose that I have an association with the RSL Club Armidale, an organisation under discussion. As a consequence, there may be a perception that my impartiality on the matter may be affected. I declare that I will set aside this association, consider the matter on its merits and vote accordingly.
Thank you very much for that declaration. We'll move into the agenda then. It's 1.1, RSL delivery access, proposed loading zone on Commerce Avenue. And the recommendation comes on page 29, page 30, 3.1, traffic management. Traffic management improvements. for Harrisdale, and the recommendation coming on the bottom of page 30. Page 31, 3.2, road cleaning and suburb maintenance, Ranford Road, Harrisdale, with the recommendation coming on page 32. Councillor Camdar.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to move an alternate recommendation as on screen. Just adding in point 3 to the current recommendation to an alternate recommendation. So which is prioritizing the interim street cleaning and verge restoration, focusing on the removal of general debris, litter and leaves that have accumulated along roadsides and footpaths. Replenish affected areas with mulch and topsoil that have been blown away over the time without any budget approval, as we can use probably from the contingency fund for minor and urgent works.
Thank you, Councillor. We do have an additional point to the recommendation. Is there anyone opposed to that addition to the recommendation?
I do have a question. There's no specifics, so are we talking the whole city of Armidale in here? Because chances are I can read that and we'll probably spend the whole time up in Roleystone and nowhere else. Because I tell you, after the once we've had the storms and the winds, I've been up there and pretty much the whole of the hills is absolutely, the roads are covered with tree branches, litter, leaves and whatever. So I'm just curious to know how we would do that without budget approval, where the contingency funds would come from for minor works or urgent works, which are completely separate. A minor is not urgent, and so I'm a little bit confused. So I'd like to ask a question on how we would actually do that, Madam Mayor.
That's a good question, and I might throw to the CEO. I think you're on the right track there.
Through you, Mayor, if this was to apply to the entirety of the city, we have a budget for streetscapes that we spend and distribute across the city as it is. So without any additional funds, I'm curious as to how we could proceed with this recommendation as it's currently worded.
Thank you. Councillor Sargison, you had the light on. Do you have a question?
Yes. Would that go to a SARS if they wanted some data in his... I'm sure he's referring to his ward and specifically to his ward. So I'm just wondering if that would be a SARS application.
I'll pass to the CEO to clarify that.
Through the Chair, the SARS do not cover all elements of the city's services that it provides to suburbs. So, and again, would need to check the SARS maps for the entirety of the Ranford ward to determine if the entire suburb is covered by the SARS collection area, because that's not necessarily a given.
Okay, any further questions? So, Councillor Busby, did you oppose, and do we need a seconder?
Sorry, Madam, I got my light on.
Sorry, what was that?
I got my light on. I got the question.
You would like to what?
No, I got my light on, so I would like to speak.
But there's a process, so I need to, before you speak to the matter, I need to find out whether anyone's opposed. Is there anyone opposed?
Oh, if that motion is going ahead, you still going ahead with that?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll oppose it. Thank you.
Yep. Do I have a seconder then? Is there a seconder for the motion? Councillor Keogh, you're a seconder for the motion?
Yes, just seconding so we can have discussion.
Okay, thank you. So, Councillor Camdar, you get to speak to the motion now, your motion.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just would like to clarify that my councillor item was for the particular suburb Harrisdale, and my alternate motion, point 3, is for only suburb Harrisdale only, until we receive the memo with the planned street sweeping schedule for the whole city. So if needed, I'm happy to amend the words for the point 3, include the suburb Harrisdale with the wherever it fits best in the paragraph.
Thank you very much. So then we'll get the seconder, Councillor Keogh. Would you like to speak to them? Either, you've seconded, you don't have to speak for.
No, yep. I presume we might have the CEO help in editing this, but I imagine that you'd have prioritised interim street cleaning at Harrisdale, in the suburb of Harrisdale, and they'll just.
Councillor Busby.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Mayor. Look, the original motion from Tech Services Committee, I think, was really important to receive a memo of the planned street sweeping schedule for the City of Armidale, then receive a memo of the boundary road agreement for road maintenance, which is really a report to give an overarching, and I think we had a more detailed report coming regarding the cleaning, what we do with branches, all that after storms, and I believe that's coming. So to actually point 3, Harrisdale or not Harrisdale, if it just mentioned Harrisdale, I wouldn't support it. Probably for the same question I asked earlier on, that Rolly Stone, the River Ward, Mount Ryshon, which I think is under the Hills Ward nowadays, they face this pretty much every storm that we have. So to actually try and be specific for certain areas to say, well, we're going to prioritise you, even though there's no budget, and we're going to find contingency funds, which I have no idea what contingency funds are. I didn't realise we had contingency funds. Is that a bank account that I never saw in our corporate services agendas and meetings that I've been a part of all the years? But to actually focus on one area that, that's probably had some mulch blown away in topsoil, I actually understand where Councillor Camdar's coming from, but to actually ask for something to be done in a specific area without funding for it, it just goes against probably everything we've ever done with budgets and our Tech Services Committee. So I think the motion we've got would come back with the answers that is required of where are we doing those, how are we doing those, how are we looking after our verges and all of that. So I think what we have would be good for the council. It's just probably a shame that Councillor Camdar won't be here to see that report and get the answers that he was after. But to change that, the way we have, Madam Mayor, it just doesn't work and it doesn't fit the way we do our processes in budget. So I have an alternative, but not to support that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Busby. Is there anyone to speak for the motion? Councillor Stoneham?
I believe that Councillor Camandar's intent is to refer to the suburb of Harrisdale, as he's concerned that some of the planting and the landscaping has been washed away and is causing debris. We did just recently manage to do quite a few zhuzhings up along Joel Street before the Armidale station opening, and I think that is the type of work that Councillor Camdar is requesting, that when things become look a bit dishevelled, that they could prioritise that bit of landscaping in Harrisdale happening, because those areas do not have, the luxury of the trees and the environment that we have up in the hills and Kelmscott. So I believe that's the intention of his recommendation, and if that is indeed the intention of his recommendation, then I'm happy to support it.
Thank you, Councillor Stoneham. Do we have anyone speak against the recommendation? Anyone speak for the recommendation? Councillor Peter?
Madam Chair, it's very hard to oppose the current motion because it's my colleague's item. But my concern is it is not clear it's going to which area. And during the rainy season, we saw that all the some areas flooding. Is not only Harrisdale, is flooding in Kemp's Court, in Haynes and Hilbert. So actually, I plan to have a council item to increase our road cleaning. So if we need to increase our road cleaning, we need to have more budget allocation. So without budget allocation, I think it is not a good decision to support the last point. But I am strongly encouraged to increase the budget for the road cleaning. That is a good point because many roads have issues. But this problem is I can't support for only one location because as a councillor for the city of Hamada, we need to take care of the entire city. So so if the motion fail, I like to foreshadow the first and second point as the committee's recommendation. I foreshadow in that motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Peter. Is there anyone to speak for the motion?
Yes, just quickly, I just wanted to back up Councillor Camdo and the fact that I've been contacted by many residents within PR Waters and also Harrisdale because sometimes our wards get a bit blurred. People come to both of us and they have also often described the vegetation wearing out. I see it myself too, so I just wanted to confirm that he's definitely correct in what he's asking for and that that the residents are noticing it as well.
Thank you, Councillor Silva. Anyone to speak against the motion? Anyone to speak for the motion? I might just make a couple of comments. With that additional point, it suggests that the city can do more with no extra money. It also doesn't say for Harrisdale, but the intention is for it to be just for one suburb. And I believe that it's been mentioned a couple of times now that it's in more than one suburb. So I think that to prioritise just on council's say-so, a certain area is not equitable, and I think we need to look at equity across the city. So the distribution of our resources, even if it is wood chips, if there is a specific area that needs replenishing, I think that you as a councillor and any of us as councillors can get onto the executive team and ask for them to be relayed as wood chips. And if irrigation has failed, then you can get onto the city and request that it be reinstated and whatnot. But to not just to state a whole suburb, I think is it will be very difficult for the officers to go away and with no extra budget allocate time and resources to going and finding firstly where the wood chips and plants need replacing. So I think that as a direction to officers, that extra part of the recommendation doesn't fit as a proper direction. Given them, you're giving them no budget, or we would be giving them no budget and expecting them just to look after one suburb. So in the interest of equity and the officers' sanity, I would suggest that we remove that last point and get the report first, and then there may be councillor items where we look at additional street sweeping and replacement, etc., of plants. So I will ask Councillor Camdo if you would like to wrap up.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I do understand the concerns of other councillors regarding their ward and other areas of the city. Particularly, this was my councillor item regarding the road cleaning and suburb maintenance for Harrisdale. So I do understand that word Harrisdale, which is not mentioned in the point 3, is creating a confusion. But if I'll check with the CEO if it's allowed, then can I just add the word Harrisdale in my alternate recommendation, or is it?
Sorry, we're kind of in debate, and
Right.
Sorry, I'm just too late. Yeah.
No, that's so good. And I just brought this item for the attention as there was a growing concern among the residents in the suburb, especially in Harrisdale, regarding the ongoing lack of maintenance by the city. And that's the reason I had my councillor item, and we had a good discussion in the committee meeting as well. And I do remember that at that time we had a discussion about budget, and I believe that there is a lack of maintenance, we don't need an additional budget, and that's the reason I have put over here, that because of the lack of maintenance, we need to have this suburb looked for this clinic and restoration as well. Second thing I want to mention is we don't know yet that when the report will be, reviewed and the memo will be given to the councillors for the planned street sweeping schedule for the whole city. So that's the reason I have just put my point 3 that we prioritize this as a councillor item for the interim street cleaning. And at the end, I'll just request everyone to support this matter that would significantly improve the appearance and environmental quality of the suburb as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kamdar. I will put the motion to the meeting. All those in favour of Councillor Kamdar's motion? Thank you. All those against? And the motion is, I'll get it right this time, the motion is lost. Councillor Peter?
Yeah, I'm moving the motion, the office's committee's recommendation as it is.
Thank you very much. Councillor Peter has moved the committee recommendation. Is there anyone opposed? Councillor Kamdar? You're seconding? Oh, thank you. All right. Councillor Peter, would you like to speak?
Madam, we have a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Busby, would you like to speak?
Just very quickly, Madam Mayor, we actually talked about budgets, and it is important, and all the councillors know this, that when we get to budgets, it really is important that we give, thought to what we want to do, what we want to budget for, because this is one area that is quite passionate for Councillor Kamdar at the moment, but we also know that we've talked about speeding just recently at our local tech services committee and doing more road safety, and we need more budget for that. We've also talked about footpaths, and as we're growing council, that footpaths need doing up and we need more footpaths. That also goes to budget. So it's really important that when we look at these sorts of things, we give serious consideration to what we can do as a council, what is the best priority of our budget, whatever, when we do it. And that's really, really important that we do that. And hopefully when we get some of these reports back, as Councillor Peters just moved, some of that will give us an idea of what we are doing. And I think we'll be surprised at just how much we are doing. But, we can always do better, and we'll get to talk about that next year. Thanks, Madam Mayor.
Hopefully not next year, but thank you. Is there anyone to speak? What are we on now? Against? Oh, sorry. Councillor Kamdar, you're opposed. Would you like to speak again?
No, good. Thanks.
Thank you. Sorry. Okay. If we have got anyone to speak for the motion? Against the motion? If not, I might just let Councillor Peter wrap up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Given that there's no more comments, I'll put this recommendation to the meeting. All those in favour of the current recommendation? Thank you. All those against? Thank you. The motion is carried. And that brings us to the end of the Technical Services Committee meeting. Have we got anything left that's not been...
Yeah, there was a couple, Madam Mayor, so I'm happy to move those that haven't yet been voted on.
Thank you. Chair has moved those items which have not already been dealt with. Is there anyone opposed? No one's opposed. Thank you. That's carried. That brings us to the Development Services Committee meeting. Is the Deputy Chair prepared to move the minutes of the Development Services Committee meeting?
Yes, I would like to move the minutes of the Development Services Committee meeting held on the 6th of October. if it's subject to any corrections, if anyone has any.
Thank you. Deputy Chair has moved those minutes, moved the receipt of the minutes. Is there anyone opposed? If no one's opposed, thank you. That's carried. And then we get into the agenda itself. Page 38, 1.1, proposed permanent closure of the portion of Napier Street between Broome Street and Leek Street, Forestdale, with the recommendation coming on page 44. Page 45, 2.1, 2025 State Election Commitments on Council-Owned Assets. Councillor Smith, you're up.
Yes, good evening. I need to declare that a impartial interest disclosure, as I am a social member and a volunteer at the Armadale Bowling Club, and as a consequence there may be a perception that this impartiality on the matter may be affected, and I declare that I would vote set aside and I vote accordingly.
Thank you, Councillor. The recommendation, Councillor, could you turn your light off? Thank you. The recommendation comes on page 59. If we have no comments, then is the Deputy Chair prepared to move all items which haven't been dealt with?
So move, Mayor.
Thank you. Takes us through to the Corporate Services Committee meeting held on the 7th of October. Is the Chair prepared to move receipt of the minutes?
Excuse me, sorry. Yes, please. I would like to move the minutes of the Corporate Services Committee held 7th of October, subject to one correction that I have and then any others. So Councillor Sargison is listed as an observer. He is actually on that committee and was there and actively part of the committee, so should not be listed as an observer. And yeah, subject to any other corrections anyone else has, that's the only one that I have. Although this is more of a note that I also thank my committee at the end of mine, but there's no reference to that, whereas it is on others.
Thank you very much for those changes, and we'll get those made, I'm sure.
For item 2.1, on the recommendation, page 88, Councillor Mercy has moved and I believe Councillor Silva has opposed the motion. So that is not mentioned on the report.
Thank you. So with those changes, we'll move now into the agenda itself. 1.1 on page 65, list of accounts paid in August 2025. Councillor Hetherington.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I actually need to declare a financial interest on, excuse me, on item 1.1 on the basis that the monthly payment listing includes a community grant payment to My Place of Employment, the Fathering Project. It's transaction number 033641, dated the 13th of August, for an amount of $2,673. So yeah, declaring a financial interest, and as such I believe I need to leave the room, so I will do so now.
Thank you very much. Could I ask if someone could close the door after Councillor Hetherington, who has declared a financial interest in this item? We've got to leave that one open, Councillor Peter, for some yeah, thank you. So the recommendation to this matter comes on page 67. Could I ask if the Chair is prepared to move that recommendation?
Yeah, so moved, please.
Thank you very much. If the Chair has moved, is there anyone opposed? No one's opposed. Thank you, that's carried, and we can invite Councillor Hetherington back into the room. Thank you. That matter was resolved and that item was moved and was passed. 1.2, page 68, Statement of Financial Activity, August 2025, with the recommendation coming on page 73. And we do require an absolute majority, so I'll ask the Chair if you're willing to move that item. Is your light not working tonight? It's not? Okay. It is? Well, why don't you press the button?
But you just told us off about two going off at the same time. Okay. Anyway, I would like to move that on, please.
Thank you. No, it does take 3 people to have their lights on all at the same time, and then... Anyway. Councillor Mosey has moved. Do we have anyone opposed? If no one's opposed, thank you, that's carried and an absolute majority has been achieved. Page 74, 1.3, financial year 2025 to 2026 carry forwards, with the recommendation coming on page 81 and 82. An absolute majority is also required for this one. Chair, are you prepared to move? And look at that, your light's on.
Amazing. Yes, I would like to also move that item, please.
Thank you very much. We do require an absolute majority, so I'll ask if anybody is opposed to this item. No. Thank you. And an absolute majority has been achieved. Now we move to page 83, 2.1, Elected Members Entitlements Policy, with the recommendation on page 88. Page 89, 2.2, Calendar of Council and Committee Meetings for 2026. Councillor Silva.
Sorry, Mayor, just with the correction where I was opposed.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, sorry. Forgive me, I was just double checking that the vote was recorded too.
Thank you. Sorry, we're on page 89, 2.2, Calendar of Council and Committee Meetings for 2026.
If I may, Mayor, there is a need for a correction to the council meeting dates in March. It needs to be the 9th of the 3rd and the 23rd of the 3rd.
Easy mistake to make. Okay, with that correction, we'll move on. So are we all understanding that? I do now. Thank you. That brings us to the end of the agenda. Chair, are you prepared to move all the items that haven't already been dealt with?
So moved.
Thank you. Chair has moved all the items that haven't already been dealt with. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed? Thank you. That's carried. Now we get to the City Audit Committee meeting held on the 8th of October. Is the Chair prepared to move receipt of those minutes?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would like to move the receipt of the report of the Audit Committee meeting held on Wednesday, 8th of October 2025.
Thank you very much. Chair has moved receipt of those minutes. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed. Thank you. That's carried. And we have the first item on page 99, 1.1, Internal Audit Plan, with the recommendation coming on page 102. Page 103, 1.2, Audit Recommendation Follow-Up Report, September 2025, with the recommendation on page 106. Page 107, we have 1.3, Misconduct, Fraud and Corruption Policy, with a recommendation coming on page 110. If there's no comments, Chair, are you prepared to move all those items?
I move. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone opposed? No one opposed. Thank you. That's carried. That takes us through to the Chief Executive Officer's report of the 13th of October 2025. Could I ask that someone move receipt of the CEO's report? Councillor Peter, thank you very much for moving. There is one item on page 114, 1.1, Councillors' Information Bulletin, issue number 16 of 2025. And the recommendation comes on page 115. Could I ask for a mover for that recommendation, please? Councillor Stoneham, thank you. Is there anyone opposed? If no one's opposed, thank you, that's carried. Takes us back to the beginning of the agenda. Where we have motions of which previous notice has been given, and there aren't any that I know of. Urgent business approved by the person presiding or by decision. There isn't any. Matters for referral to standing committees without discussion. Councillor Peter.
Yeah, improve street cleaning.
Thank you. How did we not see that coming? Thank you very much. Are there any further matters for referral? Councillor Hancock.
If I may, Mayor, may I just thank Council for my last 4 years?
Can we do
that later?
We didn't do that later. So if there's no more matters for referral, we will move to matters requiring confidential consideration, and there aren't any. So that will bring us to closure. I don't know whether we want to do it on camera or off camera, say our goodbyes. What do we think about that? Off camera, okay. In case there's tears, I might close the meeting then. But what I will do on camera is thank the retiring members of council. Thank you very much for your contribution. It's been invaluable. Councillor Joy, your 2 years, we have seen your compassion and your love of the community come forward, and you have helped us understand how compassion can work in our everyday lives. And we thank you very much for bringing that aspect of your personality and your mission to us. So thank you very much. It's been much appreciated. Councillor Camdale, after 4 years, your passion for your community and your looking out for all of those things that could make your community much better has been very much appreciated. You're bringing it to our attention, and thanks to you, the Diwali Lights competition. So thank you for bringing your expertise and your knowledge of the community and introducing a new competition and a new cultural aspect to our community. So thank you very much. Councillor Hancock, thank you for your 4 years of service to the city, and it's a shame you're retiring, but you're so young. But we do understand that you work for a local government, so you get to see this during your day job and your night job. So I can completely understand that it's doing your head in and that you probably have been to enough meetings. So no one can take an issue with you actually not running again. But thank you for your planning knowledge and your contribution and your representation of your community and the wider community of Armidale. So thank you very much. Thank you for being the person who sits opposite me and picks me up when I accidentally roll my eyes, or not that I would ever do that, or I look wrong somehow, which seems to be most of the time. So yes, you know where I need Botox and whatnot, so that I don't have my poker face has never worked. So thank you for letting me know after the meetings and giving me critique of how I looked during the meetings and what emotions flowed over my face. Thank you very much. It's been a joy. So thank you very much. And to retiring not retiring, people who are recontesting, Councillor Burke, Councillor Mosey, Councillor Hetherington, and anybody else? Councillor Smith, congratulations to you. You romped it in. So congratulations to you winning back your seat. But to the others, I wish you all the very best. next week, we will know either way. And thank you. Well, Saturday, the count is on. It doesn't mean that we'll get a resolution on Saturday after the last count. It can be difficult with those votes. So I wish you, thank you for your service. Everything that you've done for the community is very much appreciated, and I wish you all the very best of luck. And I might close the meeting there, and just in case there are tears. So I'll bring the meeting to a close at 8:21, and thank everyone for this last 2 years. Thank you very much.